Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we continue our captivating journey into the tragic events known as the Nepal Royal Massacre. If you missed part 1, don't worry, we explored the monarchy's history in Nepal up until 2001, examined the circumstances surrounding the royal family during that time, and unraveled the detailed timeline of the actual massacre. Please find the link of the first video in the description box below. Now, we turn our focus to the aftermath of the shooting, the intriguing coronation, the gripping investigation into the Royal Massacre, the compelling conspiracy theories that emerge, and the profound impact this event had on Nepal's political, social, and cultural landscape. Prepare to be enlightened as we delve deeper into these crucial aspects. Let's jump right in. The dawn of a new day brought with it a nation drowning in grief. As the sun cast its solemn rays upon the streets of Kathmandu, a somber procession unfolded, one that would forever etch itself into the collective memory of Nepal. Pall-bearers, bearing the weight of history upon their shoulders, carried the mortal remains of King Birendra to the city's winding streets. Alongside him, the adorned caskets of his beloved kin traversed the mournful path, each step a poignant reminder of the irreplaceable void left in their wake. With hearts heavy and eyes brimming with tears, hundreds of thousands of mourners lined the route, their presence a testament to the deep reverence they held for their fallen sovereign. The procession, a funeral march of a profound significance, stretched for miles, a testament to the enduring legacy of a dynasty shattered in an instant. The journey culminated at the sacred Pashupatinath temple, where the air grew heavy with the scent of marigolds and jasmine, delicate garlands adorning the pyres of sandalwood logs. Saffron-colored canopies fluttered gently, an ethereal dance in harmony with the warm breeze, as the priest prepared to perform the ancient Vedic funeral rites. Dressed in a simple white dhoti, his head shone of its regal crown, Deepak Vikram Shah, cousin of the king, stepped forward. In a sacred ritual that echoed with ancestral significance, he circled the lifeless form of his monarch 3 times, a final act of reverence. Then, with a single spark, the flames leaped to life, devouring the mortal remains of King Birendra as the nation watched in hushed reverence. But in the midst of this profound tragedy, Nepal stood at the precipice of a complex and turbulent future. The whispers of political intrigue mingled with the cries of mourning as the blame for this unspeakable loss found its target. Prime Minister Girija Prasad Koirala, already burdened by a cloud of discontent, faced the wrath of nation drowning in sorrow. Enraged mourners perched upon trees and rooftops, their voices a thunderous chorus demanding his resignation, an outlet for the collective anguish. Amidst the uproar, the realization sank deep into the hearts of millions. Their revered king, once seen as a living deity, the embodiment of Lord Vishnu himself, has been snatched away, leaving them feeling defenseless in a world plagued by poverty and unending crisis. The nation mourned, their tears mixing with the rain that fell softly upon the sorrowful faces. The flames consumed the mortal remains of royalty, and as the smoke billowed towards the heaven, Nepal stood united in its grief, forever changed by the tragedy that unfolded within the hallowed grounds of Pashupatinath. In the aftermath of the Nepal Royal Massacre, questions lingered in the air like restless spirits seeking answers. Amidst the mourning, whispers of suspicion and doubt swirled, casting a shadow on the truth that remained elusive. When Crown Prince Dipendra lay unconscious, the weight of responsibility fell upon the shoulders of Gyanendra, his uncle. In an act of deceit and careful calculations, Gyanendra wove a narrative to shield the royal family from the harsh light of truth. He claimed that the deaths were merely the result of an accidental discharge of an automatic weapon, shrouding the palace in a fog of ambiguity. Behind closed doors, Gyanendra confessed that legal and constitutional barriers prevented him from charging Dipendra with murder had he survived. But was there more to the story, hidden beneath layers of royal intrigue? Against this backdrop of grief and intrigue, the coronation of King Gyanendra unfolded. On June 4, 2001, the Narayanhiti royal palace became the stage for a ceremony that sought to restore a semblance of stability to the shaken nation. The ancient tradition and customs of Nepal came alive, weaving a tapestry of cultural significance and regal grandeur. Dressed in resplendent regalia, King Gyanendra stepped into his newfound role, embarking on a journey that carried the weight of a nation's hopes and aspirations. The sacred anointing with holy water and oil bestowed upon him a dual authority, spiritual and temporal, an embodiment of divinely ordained monarch. Symbolism played a vital role in this coronation rite. As the crown graced Gyanendra's brow, the weight of sovereignty settled upon him, a tangible reminder of the power he now possessed. The royal scepter and sword, bestowed upon him with solemn reverence, represented his authority and the responsibility to wield it wisely. Amidst the rhythmic chants of priests and the fragrant incense that wafted through the air, the ceremony sought the blessing of the divine. The prayers invoked the gods and goddesses of Hindu pantheon, echoing across the palace walls. In this union of faith and tradition, Gyanendra sought guidance for his reign, seeking to lead with the wisdom and grace befitting a king. Yet, beyond the opulent spectacle, doubts lingered in the minds of people. Gyanendra, unlike his revered brother King Birendra, had struggled to earn the trust and respect of the masses. His questionable business dealings had raised eyebrows, casting a shadow of doubt upon his credibility. The coronation, an event that should have united the nation's celebration, carried an undercurrent of skepticism as the people wondered what the future held under the reign of this newly crowned monarch. In this tragedy, uncertainty, and hidden motives, the story of Nepal's royal lineage took on a new chapter. The echoes of the massacre resonated. The weight of the crown rested uneasily upon the head of King Gyanendra as the nation watched with bated breath, awaiting the unfolding of a new era fraught with challenges and the lingering shadows of the past. With the weight of an entire nation's shattered hopes upon his shoulders, King Gyanendra took immediate action in the wake of the devastating massacre. Determined to uncover the truth and restore a semblance of justice, he declared the formation of a high-level commission. However, even in the pursuit of truth, the seeds of skepticism were sown. The composition of the commission itself raised eyebrows. Initially envisioned as a diverse team of experts, it ultimately comprised only two individuals, the Chief Justice and the Speaker of the Nepali Parliament. The leader of the opposition, Madhav Kumar Nepal, withdrew from the commission, citing objections from within his own party. This development shook the public's trust in the process, casting a shadow of doubt over its integrity. On June 8th, the investigation commenced, plunging into a race against time to unravel the enigmatic web of events. Remarkably, within a mere 6 days, the commission completed its task, releasing a staggering 196-page report. Filled with verbatim transcripts of interviews with eyewitnesses, it presented a raw and unfiltered account of the horrors that unfolded within the palace walls. The testimonies echoed with harrowing clarity, painting a chilling portrait of Crown Prince Dipane's descent into madness. The witnesses recounted the gut-wrenching scenes of him mercilessly gunning down his own parents and siblings, their lives cruelly extinguished. The chilling details did not end there, as 8 other relatives fell victim to his wrath, with only 3 managing to survive the onslaught. As the pages turned, the truth intertwined with the whispers of uncertainty. It was revealed that Dipendra had drowned his conscience in a toxic concoction of whiskey, cannabis, and an unknown narcotic. But the motivations behind this heinous act went deeper, rooted in a tumultuous family conflict. Dipane's yearning to marry Devyani Rana, the daughter of a prominent Nepali politician and businessman, Pashupati Shamsher Rana, had ignited a raging fire within his soul. His relentless clashes with his family, particularly his mother, over this forbidden love, fanned the flames of tragedy that consumed them all. When the official report's main findings were presented at a press conference, a suffocating air of silence enveloped the room. Journalists, hungry for answers, found their voices stifled, their questions left unanswered. The mainstream Nepali dailies representing the voice of a skeptical nation were unable to interrogate the official account, leaving their readership longing for validation. In the days that followed, the cracks in the report's narrative were exposed as the astute journalists meticulously unraveled the gaps and contradictions that lingered within its pages. As we peel back the layers of this haunting tale, we find ourselves confronted with the quest for truth shrouded in suspicion. Can the official account withstand the scrutiny of a nation hungry for closure? Or will the whispers of doubt continue to cast a long shadow over the already shattered lives of Nepalese royal family? The answers lie within the depth of a narrative that refuses to be silenced. The official report contained a number of errant data items and left many questions unanswered, providing an inspiring conspiracy theorist with plenty of rich material. Let's dive into some of those unanswered questions. Question 1. How could an individual who was deeply intoxicated gun down 12 individuals on a highly selective basis, killing all but 3? Why was it that every member of Biren's bloodline had been killed, while Gyanin's son and daughter escaped unharmed? Question 3. Why would Dipendra, who was right-handed, shoot himself in the left side of his head? Question 4. What was the explanation for the statement by one eyewitness in the official report that a loud gunfire noise could still be heard coming from the house even as Dipendra was being taken to the hospital? Was there another shooter at the house? Question 5. How could the Nepali public believe that Dipendra, a generally popular royal who had been seen acting completely normal at a sports council function that very day, was capable of such crimes? Question 6. Where was the evidence, apart from the statement by the deeply distrusted Paras, to support the assertion that marriage issue lay behind the killings? And finally, question 7. Why were the dead and injured taken not to the nearby teaching hospital, but to the military hospital on the far side of the city? Probably, this move could have saved some life. There were rumors circulating that Gyanendra, who was not present during the massacre, may have been involved in planning it. These rumors gained credibility because of a popular belief that Gyanendra had a strong dislike for democracy and was against the concessions made by Birendra to the democracy movement in 1990. Their positive reception was also ensured by the widespread public unpopularity of Gyanin's eldest son, Paras, who would now become crown prince, especially when it became known that he was present during the massacre but had escaped unhurt. Kathmandu is rife with stories of the princess careening through narrow streets in a Japanese four-wheel drive luxury vehicle. injuring or killing several people and remaining immune to persecution. The most serious case, confirmed by 2 government ministers and by an ambassador with access to a Western intelligence report, resulted in the death of a popular sitar player last fall in 2000. According to these accounts, Prince Paras became embroiled in an altercation over a waitress at a nightclub attached to a hotel in which his father is a major shareholder. The sitar player, Praveed Gurung, joined other employees in demanding the prince leave the waitress alone. When Mr. Gurung was about to leave the nightclub, he was pursued and knocked off his motorcycle by Prince Paras, who then put his vehicle in reverse and mercilessly ran over Mr. Gurung before driving off. Later, 600,000 Nepalese signed a petition to King Birendra demanding action against the prince. But Paras was never touched. Hence, there was considerable anger and mistrust of Paras. Demonstrators of the Royal Massacre, many with their heads shaved in mourning, came out on the streets of every major town, and 6 were killed by police deployed to quell the protest. For several days, the capital was placed under a curfew, and on 4th June, the day the body of Prince Dipendra was conveyed to the burning ghats at Pashupati temple, while its streets were all but empty. Gyanend's ascent to the throne took place on the same day under similar conditions. A common consensus among the Nepalese was, if Gyanendra is innocent, why did he have to put a curfew on so they couldn't mourn their prince? And why did they put him in a truck rather than give him a proper royal cremation procession? And why wasn't any member of the royal family or any army top brass not present? In the years that followed the massacre, the prevailing public mood was one of disbelief in the official account. There was widespread suspicion that Gyanendra was in some way to blame for it, but a unified conspiracy theory had yet to emerge. Some people believe that the Maoists might have been behind the killings of the royal family. The Maoist insurgency in Nepal was on the rise at the time, and they did not like the changes King Birendra had brought in previously. It's said that Maoists were recruiting youngsters to their army and were trying to win over people from major districts. They were targeting the poorest of the poor who had nothing to lose. They used the Maoist army to kill and maim policemen in random attacks. In this undeclared war, the Maoists killed over 400 policemen, and in return the police killed over 1,000 Maoists. This event would have changed the people's sentiment against the monarchy, which is what they were trying to achieve. The attack and the tactics used by Maoists were true. They were trying to win people's trust in the poorest region and move closer to Kathmandu to assert their influence. Pushpa Kamal Dahal, the chairman of the Nepalese Maoist Party, in a public gathering claimed that the massacre was planned by the Indian Research and Analysis Wing, RAW, or the American Central Intelligence Agency CIA, in conjunction with Prime Minister Girija Prasad Koirala. It is said that the Communist Party believed that Koirala asked the palace staff to support his plans. Additionally, Maoist leader Baburam Bhattarai wrote an opinion piece blaming the Indian Research and Analysis Wing and the American Central Intelligence Agency for the massacre. The purpose of the massacre, he said, was to replace the patriotic King Birendra with one who would do India's bidding. Baburam Bhattarai praised the role played by certain members of the Shah dynasty in preservation of Nepal's sovereignty and independence, and claimed that the Maoists and the late king had been thinking along similar lines on many questions of national importance. However, there is no credible evidence to support this theory. The investigation found no evidence of any external country involved in this event. As news of the massacre spread like wildfire, the political landscape of Nepal quaked under the weight of the unthinkable. King Biren and his family, revered as symbols of stability and continuity, had been ruthlessly snatched away. The shockwaves rippled through the corridors of power, plunging the country into a state of emergency. Curfews choked the streets, and uncertainty cast a long, haunting shadow over the nation's future. But the impact went far beyond the political sphere. The Nepalese people were left reeling, their hearts heavy with grief, and their souls seared by the sudden loss of their beloved royal family. The monarchy had been an integral part of their identity, interwoven with the rich tapestry of the culture. Now the tapestry was torn, and the void left behind seemed insurmountable. Yet, amidst the pain and anguish, the tragedy also laid bare the fault lines that existed within Nepalese society. Ethnic and linguistic tensions simmered beneath the surface, and the massacre fanned the flames of discord. Divisions deepened, threatening the unity that had long been cherished. The country found itself grappling with the fractures that had been laid bare, navigating the treacherous path towards healing and reconciliation. In the realm of culture, the impact was no less profound. The royal family had been custodians of Nepal's heritage, their patronage, ensuring the preservation of the nation's cultural fabric. With their untimely demise, a void was left in the very heart of the Nepalese cultural identity. But from the ashes of grief arose a renewed determination to honor their memory. Initiatives were launched, monuments erected, and traditions celebrated as Nepal sought to keep the flame of its cultural heritage burning bright. The legacy of the Nepalese Royal Massacre is one that continues to shape the nation's destiny. In 2008, Nepal took a historic step forward, declaring itself a republic and bidding farewell to the monarchy that had defied its existence. A new constitution was embraced, democracy flourished, and the scars of the tragedy became symbols of resilience. Today, Nepal stands as a testament to the strength of its people, a nation that has weathered the storm and emerged stronger. The wounds may never fully heal, but they serve as a reminder of the journey towards a more stable, democratic, and hopeful future. As we reflect upon the Nepalese Royal Massacre, let us remember the lives lost, the lessons learned, and the unyielding spirit of a nation that rose from the ashes. The tragedy may have shaped Nepal's past, but it is unwavering determination of its people that will shape its future. Thank you for joining us on this poignant journey through Nepal's history. Together, may we bear witness to the resilience and courage that defines a nation. If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, we invite you to take a moment to show your support. Give us a thumbs up, share this video with your loved ones, and subscribe to our channel for more captivating content. We value your feedback, so please take a moment to leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comment section below. Your input helps us grow and improve. Tell us what topics you are eager to explore next, and let's continue this journey together. Thank you for being a part of our community.